We are here with Jake Hoot, winner of season 17 of The Voice. Also one of my most favorite people. Nice to see you, Jake.
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we have all the things to talk about. I want to start with, because I'm going with my husband and I'm super excited, your City Winery show.
Yes, ma'am. Super excited about that. I have never played that venue, so I'm very excited to be right here in town playing a show and to get to see everybody and stuff for the new song. Is going to be fun.
And it's like all a Jake show, right?
Yes, as far as I know. I mean, it's going to be, we'll have the band and stuff out there, but we're going to be playing all the songs that we've released, a couple covers, but we're going to be releasing a new song that we're going to be playing that night. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's just going to be a good time. Which
we're going to get to in a minute, but I want to talk about another show where you are not the headliner, but you're opening again for Alabama.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so take me back to when you did that show that we just talked about, I wrote about, when it was your first arena show opening for Alabama. Take me through that.
Yeah, no big deal. I tell everybody that the only stage I get nervous on is the Opry, just because there's something about the Opry that just gets to me every single time. But we went down there. It was at Hertz Arena in Estero, Florida, and absolutely beautiful venue. Got to meet Teddy from Alabama. He was super nice. But when we got on that stage and the lights went off and that spotlight hit me, my gut dropped. It was unreal. And so it was such a cool, one, getting open for the Alabama was very special. Getting to be our first arena show was very special. And then at some point during the show, I think I was singing Danny's song, that Loggins and Messina song, and everybody pulled out their flashlights and they were waving the flashlights. And that's the first time anything like that's been done. And so, to me anyway, and so I was just like, this is just so cool. And so, we felt definitely very loved and very welcomed. And we felt like, hey, well, this is the big time now. And so getting to open for them again in Pennsylvania is going to be a lot of fun.
So at what point when you were singing, did your nerves settle? Did they settle?
I don't know that they ever did. I think it was like one of those adrenaline crashes after I walked off stage. It was just like, oh man. But it was very special. We had a great time. We got to play a bunch of our songs and we got to, debut our new stuff and everything else. And so we just had a blast.
Okay, and I want to talk about the new song that you keep talking about, new music you keep referencing. So Love Out of Time just came out. And your single is doing really well with Kelly, and now there's more music coming.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I was told by somebody last year, I can't remember who it was, but they said, you always, like right now, you just need to keep new music out there. You need to keep giving, music. And so we've been writing nonstop, and, we've been on the road for the weekends for shows, but then I get back and I write during the week. But this song, we wrote it probably a few months ago. I wrote it with Danny Myrick and Kylie Sackley. It's called Night Left. And in the middle of the chorus, it's got this fun little phrase called, all right, bet, which I'd never heard before last year. But it kind of means like, all right, bet that I won't do it. It's kind of like a challenge thing. And so we've been playing that at our live shows, and people have been loving it. People have been asking about it. And so we're releasing it on July 23rd. That's why we're doing the City Winery show. We're playing a bunch of other places around that time for the release. Including the Grand Ole Opry. We're going back there, but it's gonna be great. And then we're doing a music video for it, and we're using the same Taylor who directed the Kelly video. She's gonna come out and do that one for us as well. So it's gonna be fun.
So where are we with the whole new album? Because I think you said at one point Brittany was gonna be on this album, right?
Yes. So this is just the single, and we have got a bunch of other stuff planned for the full album whenever we decide to release that. But she's definitely going to be on it, and I may have her singing some lead on some of the songs just because she's got such a powerhouse voice. So we're definitely working towards that part. She's become part of our shows. Everybody loves hearing her sing Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. She sings that. I'm trying to work her up to Sarah Evans' Suds in the Bucket and a couple other songs and get her going on that. But she's definitely going to be a part of it.
She's still a nurse, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. She's a labor and delivery nurse at St. Thomas.
Oh, that's where I had my baby. Does she have any aspirations of joining you on the road at some point?
I think for the time being, she's been road tripping with us, even though we've been driving through the night a lot. It's been fun in a 12-passenger van, but she loves being out there. She loves traveling just like I do. And so for the time being, as far as her becoming part of the show, I think, maybe that is something that she's thought about. We've talked about it a little bit. For the time being, she just loves being there and getting up and making appearances every once in a while. And everybody, I think my thing that I love is everybody recognizes her. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's Brittany. And so I love that. And who knows, it may become kind of like a, Chris Stapleton and his wife kind of deal, just have her come up and sing some of the songs with me and whatnot. But for the time being, we're just having a good time. And, she loves making her appearances.
I love it. So we're going to get back to music, but since we're talking about her, how is married life?
It's incredible. We love it. There's been a lot, we were just talking last night how, when we started dating was in the full swing of COVID and everything was shut down and we just had all this good quality time together. We'd go on these long walks and wouldn't see another soul. And just this isolated, relationship that we were able to do, and just kind of just spend so much time together. Then it was like, as soon as we got married, I mean, it was like I got called when I was emailed on our honeymoon that we were flying out to LA to be on the Kelly Clarkson show. And from then on, it's just kind of like snowballed into just busy all the time. And so we're capitalizing on those moments that we are together, and we're doing our date nights, and spending that time with Macy whenever she's with us and just trying to, prioritize family. But I couldn't ask for anything better. I love married life. There's just something special about it and being a dad that, you can't replace.
I loved one of the interviews you guys did that she said that she knew right away once you guys got back together that you were it. I love that.
Yeah, she, it took her a while to come around, don't tell her I said that. But now, it's amazing. We talk about, Rascal Flatts, God Bless the Broken Road, and how, it's very cliche, but it is true. It's all about timing, and it's all about, you may be in love with somebody, but they're not at that same moment in their life, and you got to go part and come back again for that to be right. And so that's kind of what we did. And, it worked out perfectly. So I've got no complaints at all.
My husband and I were friends for 10 years before we started dating.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I mean,
God's timing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to music. When I interviewed Todd and Brooke a couple months ago, who we've already talked about, but he hinted that there might be something coming from the two of you together. So what might be coming?
Yes. Well, if he didn't give out the info, I wonder if I'm allowed to. I'll go ahead and do it. So he came over. We were going to write a song. I invited him over to write, and we just got to talking because Todd, just like he's such a down-to-earth, sweet guy. He and Brooke both are. And we just got to talking and talked through our entire session of writing. We were supposed to write. And so I said, well, let's not stop here. Let's go grab something to eat. And I said, but before we go, let's record something. And so we recorded just a little 30-second, 1-minute clip of In the Garden, which is an old hymn that we both grew up in church. And so he is, he just released his book and all that. And so we recorded, I don't know where it's exclusive for, but before too long it'll come out. But it was a recording for the release of the book, but it's a recording of In the Garden. We went in the studio together and recorded that, and it turned out great. I don't know at what point he plans on releasing that, but I was very honored that he asked me to be a part of that. It was really special.
I love the way you guys sounded together in the garden. Also, I love that hymn, but something magic happened with your voices. Like they just matched so well.
Oh, I think, Todd can sing any kind of music he wants, and anything that goes with Todd's voice is going to be magic. Like he's got that raspy Kenny Rogers kind of vibe to his voice, and it's just incredible. And, going along with just how incredible of a guy he is too, it all just blends so well together. So I was very honored that he asked me to be a part of it.
Well, I mean, you sing pretty well too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and Cumberland Music Festival, you're doing that too. So fun fact, my husband and I, not our first date, but one of our first dates was to see Daly and Vincent in Gainsborough.
Dang, look at that. Wow.
Yeah. So that sounds like a super fun event too.
Absolutely. In Gainsborough, golly, I've been playing down at the Bull and Thistle in Gainsborough for years. And, I lived in Jackson County for a little while. But to get to do anything with Daly and Vincent, those guys have been, since I've come off The Voice, those guys have been a bigger help than just about anybody in my career. And they do it, you work with people, and I'll say this, and I won't mention names, but you work with people in the music industry that they help you, but they always have strings attached to it. And they always have, their hand like out, like, oh yeah, I'll help you, but I expect something in return. And, which is fine. I mean, I'm all about, reaping and sowing, and I'm all about, hey, if you've done me a solid, like I want to do you a solid, and whatnot. But, Daly and Vincent, I can honestly say those guys have never even hinted at ever wanting anything. They just do it out of the goodness of their hearts, and they're just the sweetest people ever. And some of the advice that I hold to today in what I do is stuff that they told me from the get-go, of like, hey, you need to do this, you don't need to do this, you need to work with this person, you don't need to do this. And it was all just advice of things, lessons they had learned throughout their careers. And so to get to be down there and share the stage with them is going to be really special. I've got to be on their TV show a couple times, and it's just so special, and we all just get along so well. It's just a big cut up time, so I'm looking forward to it.
I was thinking about this earlier. I think I'm right in this. You have one of the most loyal fan bases I've ever seen in 16 years of doing that. Can you just speak to that a little bit, and how fans have just really kind of stayed with you from the very beginning?
Oh gosh. I think I'm very blessed, is the bottom line of it. I don't know what I did in essence. I know it's, it's The Voice and all that kind of stuff, but the people who come to my shows, the people who support me on Facebook and Instagram and all the social medias, and I even have random people that will Venmo me just every once in a while, just be like, hey, we were just thinking of you. And it's just really sweet. And the people that, there's some people that are, up in years that can't get around too much, but they're at every show that's in Middle Tennessee that they can come to, even if it's a couple hour drive, even if they drive through the rain. And there's one lady, Miss Sue, who lives in Arkansas, who's driven 9 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours to all these different shows just to be there. And she turns around and goes right back home. And so it's just very special to, because, and I will say, like, I've been fans of people, but I've never been that kind of a fan that I've, just dove into everything that somebody's done. And to have people do that is just really special. And I'm very, very blessed. My family's very blessed. And that's why we want to get more music out, is because, we want to keep people, entertained. We want people to feel like they're part of the process along the journey too. So I'm very blessed.
Awesome. July 23rd?
July 23rd, night left.
All right. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the City Winery.
I'm going to awkwardly hug you, just so you know, because we're back to hugging again. So
no hug is awkward. No hug is awkward. I embrace them all.
All right. Thanks, friend. Take care.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.